Hi everyone, Sparrow here, and today I want to talk about the one trick a narcissist has up his or her sleeve that almost works every time. And this is probably something you've experienced if you've had a relationship with a narcissist, and it's so frustrating, but at the time it really pulls at our heartstrings. And that is their ability to cry. And this is really interesting because narcissists tend not to cry in the beginning. They tend to yell, scream, blame, criticize, gaslight. They do everything but cry, right? But a lot of times when those things aren't working, or if you're starting to get strong and set good boundaries with them, or you're just saying, hey, look, I'm not getting into this with you, or that doesn't work for me, you're keeping your composure and they're upping the ante, they're upping it, and it's just not working, then what they do is a lot of times they will completely melt. They will have this all out meltdown. And it's like the total waterworks. And they're doing the heave crying, they have the snot strings, like it is intense. And what's really terrible about this is we actually think, oh wow, maybe they really care. Maybe I've broken through to them. Maybe this is a good sign. Maybe it's their breaking open. And usually it's not. But at that point, when they're crying, sometimes then we soften, we'll enable them, we'll take care of them. And within a matter of hours or days, then they're right back to their old behaviors. I have seen this with female narcissists, I've seen it with male narcissists, and I've seen it with kids, little budding narcissists. We don't call children narcissists, but when I've worked therapeutically with kids or teenagers who are going down that path, I would see this happen routinely, where when they can't get their way or they can't manipulate you, they just absolutely fall to pieces. So if you think back with your relationships, whether it's with a spouse, a family member, a friend, you'll be able to go, oh yeah, they do this thing. And what's happening when they're crying, they're not crying for a reason that you or I may cry. They're not crying out of sadness. They're not crying out of remorse or any of that. They're crying because their house of cards has been blown down and there's no identity for them at that point. They're in the throes of their emptiness, and it's like pulling a rug out from them. They have no structure because they don't really have a structure anyway. It's so flimsy. So when you're setting a good boundary and you're saying, no, sorry, that doesn't work for me, or hey, I don't play that game, or whatever it is you're saying, you're ripping the rug, or you have presented them with evidence of a lie. A lot of times this will happen. And so my suggestion is, don't have too much empathy. You can say, they're there, sorry you're melting. Do you need me to call a professional? You can't go in there and be that savior. If you're trying to extricate yourself from the relationship, please don't let that suck you back in. It's manipulation, and it's them really experiencing their emptiness. And it is painful and it is awful. They don't know who they are. They don't have a foundation. And, their foundation is based on you, right? And you playing the game and doing the dance. And when you pull away and stop doing the dance, then they're left with that house of cards that's just collapsed. So bottom line, don't fall for the waterworks. This is just another attempt at manipulating, making you feel sorry for them feeling victimized, and again, them experiencing their emptiness, which they do need to experience because maybe that will propel them into getting some professional help. But you're not the therapist, you're not their professional help, you're not their savior, and you can't save them. Really what you need to do when you're in a relationship with a narcissist is save yourself. So do me a favor, if you like this video, click the birdcage below and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my website, sparrowspalding.com. I've got a couple of great books on there you might find enjoyable. One that just came out called Uncaged, and I do specifically talk about narcissism in this book. But this is a trauma recovery book using facet integration technique, which is my technique, and I'm very excited to share it with you. But there is a whole section under the violence chapter on narcissism, because narcissists are emotionally violent, and if you've had a relationship with one, you know what I'm talking about. So as always, hug yourself from me, and we'll see you next time.